Hello, we are going to start our Wednesday live. We are in Brisbane. Today is June 25th, 2025, and today's live is called 72 Eternal Hours in a Life in Vain. How interesting, right? How can 72 eternal hours in a life in vain? Well, today's live is about that. It is our idea of how something lasting 72 hours in a 72-hour interval can last a lifetime. And it is good for you to reflect on this, because if you go back to your childhood, there you lived in innocence, in plenitude, in the body, in the territory, and suddenly some speech, emotion grabbed you, conquered you, and this emotion held you. And this emotion was repeated in some way in the space of 72 hours, and since you were 5 years old, you don't know why you keep believing, being activated by the same nonsense, by the same lie that was told to you when you were 5 years old, from a friend, from a colleague, from your mother, from your father, from school, from someone, from the internet, from a video, from a cartoon, okay? That's what we're going to try to talk about today, okay? The idea is 72 eternal hours in a life in vain. You believed in something and you keep activating that something in a period of 72 hours, and the brain, you can't throw it away. It stays activated. And 72 hours, another 72, and then you always remember. In a ritual, in a prayer, in praise, in a song, in a meal, you remember that act again and you keep reinforcing it, reinforcing it. You don't let 72 hours go by without a reinforcement. So you keep consolidating that, but that could have been a lie. And in childhood, it usually was, right? It takes a long time for you to get that out. So you spend 72 eternal hours in a vain life, in a life based on a lie. That's a very annoying thing, right? We live eternally trapped in 72-hour cycles. An activated self, an opinion, a video, a position, an emotion remains activated for 72 hours. It remains activated, justified, and rewarded. That's human bias. We are like that. So on my side, there are a lot of things that are like that. In some way, I was activated when I was little or when I was an adult. And this activation, if it is an activation that continues for a period of 72 hours, the brain cannot throw away this lie because it keeps being activated, fed back. You feed a lie before 72 hours and it becomes consolidated. You become the lie. You become an activated being. Research shows this, so I see it in several places and several studies, and I'm always teaching this type of research. Now I'm here, in this one that's Brisbane. It's in Australia. It's the Human Mapping 2025 organization. We're here, and there are several things and several studies that they're doing on several different ideas. And we're trying to take these ideas, okay? Our validation system is a system that can come from social networks, tradition, blind faith, nationalism, digital, or even real tribalism, and many other things. A strong emotion, then you lock it in and validate it, and you become. But look, that was just an emotion. That was just someone telling a big emotion. Why did you close down? Why did your diet change now? Why did your faith change? On top of something that was just an emotion, and now you only eat this way or that way, you were activated. And then you keep feeding yourself and looking for information on social media or in libraries or in books which confirms, which says that you are right. When you say that you are right, you become that, and that may be a lie. Usually it is. Usually it is. Because as I told you, the truth is always a relational truth. It is between me and you and others, which are based on facts. The truth is not in me or in you, because when I assume to be the truth, I am like that evil angel of light, right? I usurp being the being, I usurp being God, I usurp being the truth. No, the truth is relational, and we have to share what I think with other people, and that these things are based on facts and not on false narratives. and sometimes childish narratives activated every day. Every day you somehow activate a belief from 5 years ago. 72 eternal hours in a vain life, in a life believing in what is not. You waste your time and then hate those who don't believe in what you believe. But man, the truth is between us, it's not in one of us. This is important to know how it works. When you are activated, validation occurs. You are activated, and when you are activated, the emotion comes and you justify why it came. So you use your brain to justify why you are emotional, and your brain rewards you. Oh, you are smart, you are intelligent. Sometimes I go to gypsy, other times artificial intelligence, DeepSeek, and others too. And usually DeepSeek Gipti, he says, hey Jackson, you're smart, look how cool. Then you're rewarded. This is a human bias. Every time we try to guess something, the brain rewards us. Look how smart you are, and you get activated in what you try to guess. And then you think you're smart, that's normal. But this activates us forever, for the rest of our lives, thinking that you're right in what you seek reward for thinking you're right. Do you understand? So where does this come from when you have this validation of tribalism, of blind faith, or of social media, or of the idea that you imagine the world to be and it gets reinforced in you? You have a connection in a sense that I call the human core sense. You have a feeling that, man, people accept me because I believe in this, so this is true. You and the group where you believe in some facts, some things, everyone believes in that. So it is information common to everyone and common to everyone who belongs to it. Then it's funny that you enter a validation process, and then what happens to your life? This process of continuous validation that I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, causes your life to be wasted in reactivity. These ideas weren't yours. These ideas were put in your head when you were 5, 7, 10, 11, 20 years old, I don't know. And this idea came from outside, a stimulus from outside. Look, this is the great enemy. Oh, great enemy then. Great enemy, great enemy. So you create a false activation and start living a lie, a life of lies. And what is this? Your reality is being wasted in reactivity. In the other live I talked to you about, I talked about reactivity. Being is an action, being is going outward, being is showing feelings, giving flow to your feelings. From the moment someone stimulates you with something, you will react, and this reaction gives you an activation. In 72 hours, feeding, 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 then you say, oops, I'm in an eternal illusion, because in 72 hours I'm being fed the same false or true information. It doesn't matter, the brain won't see the difference. You're being fed the same thing, and you can't get out of where you are anymore. You are. You are in these eternal 72 hours in a life in vain. You are wasting your life. You are wasting your life in the reactivity that someone put you in. It wasn't your idea. It wasn't a resourcefulness that you were gradually developing. No, someone came and activated you. When you activate it, you feed it, feed it, feed it as if it were a coal. Now all you have to do is blow on the coal and the coal heats up and your life is slipping away. Okay. What will we have of reality? How do we see reality? I've already told you, reality is something that is a guess, a guessing. This comes from Anil Seth. If you look on the internet, Anil Seth is a very good neuroscientist. He says that consciousness is a continuous guessing. You keep guessing. Okay, but when I guess, I get feedback. And if the feedback is okay, you're smart, I'll stay on the feedback. And sometimes the guesswork is totally wrong. I'm accepted. For example, the sentence is I'm accepted because I believe in it. So I need to keep believing. Whoa, wait a minute. What logic is that? I'm accepted because I believe in it, so I'm going to keep believing? That may be a lie. Usually it is. because the truth is between us, it is not in one of us. And I believe that. And I will continue to believe because I am accepted for believing this. So you are buying other people's belongings, so you continue to believe. Another strong phrase: if what I feel matches what I was taught, then that is how the world is. Hold on. Feelings are emotions. They are strong, good, important things. Everyone has to feel everything. But it does not mean that you feel that this is right, that this is right. Feeling is feeling. And you can feel things that are completely different from reality. Because if you are activated, you feel what the person who activated you wants you to feel. On social media, normally, look, vote for this person, don't vote for that person, do this. You start being polarized and you start being monetized. This is very important. I said it in the previous live. After you activate a person, a group, a mass of people, you track these people, and then these people become reactive, they become predictable, they become dopaminergic. Dopaminergic, they start looking for that brain reward of their own, they become monetizable. I can, as artificial intelligence on social networks, I can now activate the purchase you're going to make. I can modulate it because you are predictable and monetizable and you are seeking your reward. So the social network with AI can put it and you are monetizable. They sell it now that you're going to buy a shoe, something, put that shoe in front of you, a photo and something similar, okay? So at that moment, you no longer remember when only you were. There was a moment in your life when you were 3, 4, you were. Not now. You are reactive to what you receive. You are activated. You stopped being and acting simply to react to what the world puts in front of you. Think about it this way. What do you believe now? What is your cause now? 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, when you were 5 years old, when you were 10 years old. You will see that at some point your life changed, and this change was because an activation occurred. And the feedback of the activation was continuous. It was every day remembering once, twice, 3 times a day what is right. Look, this is right, and this activation continues eternally. So 72 eternal hours in a life in vain because you are believing in a redundancy of an activation that our brain remains activated for 72 hours and believing that it is true. Every inherited truth disconnects us from interoception. Every truth that you inherited from your family or from someone or from a guru or from a politician, it doesn't matter from whom, that which came disconnects your internal sensation from interoception, and also the extended exception of your positioning in the space where you are inserted, because you take a truth and impose it as truth. There is no truth. Truth is relational. It is not a sentence. It is a relationship of things. And you impose that and disconnect with your interoception and with your own exception. You give up innocence. In early childhood, you had this innocence. Why? Because you had an internal sensation and the body, the territory, wanted to explore, wanted to walk, wanted to know. And now, and it was for you, now it is not. Honestly, in early childhood, if you are putting screens in front of children in early childhood, then you are already distorting their brains. You are already training them to seek out the interests that are being activated in them since early childhood. That is why it is good not to put screens in front of them until the age of 16, to leave them without screens. So you have an early childhood without screens, you created your own ideas and you sort them out. From the moment you lose your innocence, you react to the ideas that are put in you. When you react for 72 hours, these same stimuli appear again, and you are eternally stuck in ideas. And you are only reacting and not acting anymore. How can we get out of this 72 hours? Jackson, how 72 hours, if you don't give cultural stimuli related to these lies that you were given, will wear out this lie. So it would be a 72-hour ritual, a cultural silence. 72 hours, you only feel your body, feel your basic needs. 72 hours. You will drink, you will eat if you are really hungry. 72 hours. And feel what your body is and your position in space, and without thoughts and without needs, and without this nourishment from the internet or from the pastor or from the politician or from the guru. No, 72 hours, feel the body, enter the being. And then you have a cultural cleansing. You get out of this continuous, eternal activation of repeating the same things. Oh, if you are, I don't know, a spiritualist or spiritualism, I don't know what, it's reincarnation. Or if you are a Buddhist, you are a Buddha, I don't know what. You get rid of that talk. If you are a Christian, you get rid of the Christian talk. You get rid of the Christian terms. You go out, feel your body, feel the position of your body. 72 hours, it's just 72 hours. And then you cleanse yourself of these lies, of this wrong me since childhood. You will observe the living being that is you. Because sometimes in this deception that we have since childhood, people say, look, the planet was made for you. You have to seek your profit, thinking that we are an extraterrestrial being. No, we are one with the planet. We are this coexistence with the planet. And each living being has its DNA with its specificity and its difference. So you will seek a pure Damasian mind, which is the interoceptive and proprioceptive sense. And you will feel the body taking away territory, creating a cultural silence. And you return to that innocence with maturity. It's about recovering what I'm telling you. It's about recovering the right to consciously choose what lives within us. Because at that moment you may be harboring reactions to what was planted in you. Because you didn't give yourself a 72-hour break without feedback from that information. Your brain is reacting to that emotion, and more information about that emotion comes to it, and it always stays there. Even though it's a lie, you have the feeling that it is that it is the truth. That's a human bias. We all have it. I have it, you have it, everyone has it. At some points in my life, I continue to have this human bias of believing what I'm reacting to. I am reacting to a politician, to a pastor, to a priest, to a guru, and that reaction gives me the feeling of divination in it, and I am intelligent, and I am activated, justified, and rewarded. Then I am right. It's a lie. It's a brain bias. Take care of yourself, people, and try to do this silence, this 72-hour ritual of resting in silence, weekends starting on Friday. Feel your body and your body's position in space. Remove your beliefs, ideas, and thoughts, and only feel what you are feeling in your body and position in space for 72 hours. And then you start to give more meaning to your life. Not a meaning that culture wants to put in your head, but a meaning of being human, of being alive. Guys, until next Wednesday, a big hug to you.